He's the main kirtaniya of Braj Academy. I saw in the time of Janmastami, he would stay whole night. This Prabhu from Vrindavan, Mathura, Darilai Jij, Gurudev gave him name Damodara Prabhu, Darilai Ji. He's a very famous, he has a very big kirtan group. He Akashvani in Mathura center. In Mathura, he has one center. He's a very special kirtaniya. He's here, and he has also a very group of kirtan, and they sing so beautiful kirtan of Braj, not kirtan of cinema. I'm not criticizing anyone, not criticizing, but some kirtaniyas, they come, they speak, they sing any song from here and there, from the cinema even, just to make people dance. But this Damodar Prabhu, since from childhood I know him. I'm from Mathura. I'm living Mathura, and with him also there. I know he sings so well. He's not doing any kirtan, like everything he sings is related to Vraj, not anything. Gurudev didn't like these songs from movies, these from cinema stuff, but he only sings kirtan related to Braj. So he was always called, and he was singing so much kirtan and everything. So Vraj Katha, he was speaking all the time. Today especially is Ekadashi today. And in this Ekadashi today, you are hearing also, we have how many senses we have? How many senses we have? We have 11 senses. Panca-karmendriya and Panca-karmendriya. So we have Bak, Pani, Pad, Payu, Upasta. We have speech, hands, legs, genitals, and anus. And also 5 karmendriya, working senses, eyes, ears, etc. And also mind. Mind is control all the senses. If you control the mind, all your senses will be under control. So what is the meaning of Ekadashi? Ekadashi means actually your 11 senses. How can we serve God with our 11 senses? How can we use our senses in the service of God? Like Maharaj, Lashidhara Maharaj, he was saying, if you don't use your 11 senses and the mind in the service of God, mind will take you to hell. Like your mind can take you to good places, but also mind can also take you to bad places. To hell also your mind can take you. That's why Shastra explains what you have to do. You have to bring your mind to God, just like Ambarisha Maharaj. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 9th canto, we hear the story of Ambarisha Maharaj. Ambarisha Maharaj himself, he used all his senses in the service of Bhagavan. Look, how to use this senses in the service, especially today's Ekadashi. So you have to use your 11 senses in the service of God. Why? Because the 11 senses we have, slowly they are taking us to hell. But if you glorify the names of Bhagavan, they will bring you to God. Like for example, our eyes, they always want to go where there's a beautiful form. Your eyes want to see the beautiful form always. But you should bring your eyes not to see beautiful form, but to Bhagavan, to see God. The 5 tanmatra, Pancha tanmatra means Rupa, Ras, Gandha, Shabda, Sparsha, means taste, sound, form, and touch. This, our eyes want to see the beautiful form. Who has the most beautiful form? Just like now Maharaj was saying, the most beautiful form is with Govinda. If once you see his form, you don't need to see anything else. If once you see Krishna, you never go back to your house. Gurudev is singing. Mathura Keshi Tirtha Gatera Sakash bandhu-sange, yadi, tava, ranga, parihasa. If you want to be happy with your family members, don't go to see Govinda, otherwise you'll never go back to your family life. The song is saying. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Bengali Kirtan, and also Rupa Goswami also in Sanskrit explains also. He also explains, if once you see Govinda, even once, If once you see Govinda, that's it. You have no desire to see anything else. Because if you see the best thing, like the most beautiful thing, you don't have desire to see anything else. So if you have to go to Vrindavan, so that the poet says, if you go to Vrindavan, don't go so much. Oh, I need to go to Vrindavan. I have to go to Vrindavan. For example, you guys, you go to Vrindavan. Who goes to Vrindavan? Raise your hand. Every Sunday, you go to Vrindavan to do what? Oh, I go to Vrindavan to see Banki Bihari every Sunday. So you go see Banki Bihari, and then you drink some lassi, and then you came back to Delhi. That's it. My Vrindavan darshan. I saw Banki Bihari and took lassi, yogurt. Like, you know lassi, right? But our acharyas explain. Look, if once you see Govinda, you will not come back to your family. So beautiful. Like Ambarisha Maharaja. He himself used to clean the temple with his own hands. He used to use his hands in service of the temple, and also sweeping the floor of the deity. Like, he was the god. Sorry, not the god. Sorry, he was the king of all the world, but still he used to serve in the temple with his own hands and clean. His feet he used to use for the parikrama of the temple of the deity also. This is all beautiful. Now the time is very brief, so I cannot speak more. But anyway, so Karo Hare Mandira Marjanadishu. And the tongue, he used to use in glorifying Bhagavan. Like Maharaj today, he was saying, our tongue has no bones in it. That's why your tongue is always moving, because there's no bone. But you have to use your tongue in the service of God, means glorifying God. You have to use your tongue glorifying God. All our senses, the mind, for example, how to use the mind in remembering the sweet pastimes of God. That's why Ambarisha Maharaja is giving teachings to us. So Ekadashi, 11 senses, you have to use the 11 senses in the service of God. 11. So if you do Ekadashi, even you get material benefits. For example, because of the position of the earth in the moon will attract more or less the water of the ocean. You can sit on the beach from Ekadashi until Purnima, or Ekadashi until Amavasya, new moon. You see the water of the ocean is increasing, the volume of the water. So the element in our body, which is the most quantity of element we have in our body, is water. So imagine the influence of the moon in the water of our body. You can see that people generally, they give up the body more, and from Ekadashi to Purnima and Ekadashi to Amavasya, to new moon. Especially those who have Ekadashi to full moon and Ekadashi to new moon is when the people have more people die more in this time. Especially those who have some cough, these kind of problems in the body. Especially from Ekadashi until Amavasya and Ekadashi until Purnima, people have so much cough. What is the name of that? Like cough, too much cough, and the person dies from that, because this is influence of the moon in the water of our body. So if we follow Ekadashi, you only can get benefit only. Why? What benefit? I will not be able to eat. What is this? But actually, Shastra explains you have to do Nirjala Ekadashi. Which kind of Ekadashi? Nirjala, even without drinking any water. Some person says, "Oh, if I will not drink water, no problem. I can drink milk." But Shastra explains, Nirjala means not even a drop of water you should drink. Also, I'll drink milk. No. But now is Kali Yuga. Our body is not working properly. We have some laziness, or maybe some problem in the stomach. So your body cannot work without food. So that's why Shastra gives some concession. Oh, okay. If you don't follow Nirjala, you cannot follow Nirjala, then you can eat some fruits, falahar, little bit some water you can drink. Your throat is dry, so drink some water, no problem. But on the day of Ekadashi, under any circumstance, you should not eat 5 kinds of grains. What are the 5 kinds of grains? Rice, wheat, and also dal. Dal is like pulses. Bajra is a millet, and sarson is the mustard seed. So on the day of Ekadashi, all the sinful activities, germs, they go to the 5 kinds of grains, whether you believe it or not, okay? But Shastra, it says, that's why on the day of Ekadashi, anyhow or another, you should not eat the 5 kinds of grains, okay? You can eat fruits, you can drink milk on the day of Ekadashi, you can take yogurt as well. But, and also for one day, if you don't eat for one day, you will not die for one day. Shastra explains, and actually, even if you give up your body on the day of Ekadashi, you'll go to Vaikunta, Bola Vrindavana Bihari Lala Ki Jai. Also, Shastra explains, on the day of Ekadashi, knowingly or unknowingly, even if you give up in the body of Ekadashi day, you even can become king next life, and you can even become so rich in next life. Maharaj tells this story also. It's written in the Shastra also. Look, there was a king called Rukmangada. In the ancient times, there was a king called Rukmangada. He had a wife, very religious wife that used to serve him, and he had a son. The name of his son was Dharmangada. Remember, what is his name? Dharmangada. Look, you can have happiness in your family life if husband, wife, and son, all together with one mind and body, they worship God, follow the same path. Then the family life will be a happy life. But if husband is going one side, wife going to the other side, and son going to other side, then the family life will be spoiled, bad. But Rukmangada, this king, actually, his wife was so religious wife, Dharma Patni, and his wife was always under the guidance of the husband. And his son also, Dharmangada, the name, he was also following the orders of his father. Shastra explains that the father is the embodiment of religion, embodiment of Swarga. If your father is happy, all the demigods will be happy with you. If your father is happy, everything, even the demigods become pleased with you. So father is the embodiment of dharma. So Dharmangada, this king, Dharmangada was the son of Rukmangada. So because he was so religious, all the seasons and the laws of nature, they were following properly. Like for example, rain was coming proper time, the seasons, everything, all the seasons, all the crops, all the subjects of the kingdom, they were happy. There was not even thieves and violence in that kingdom because everybody had so much food in their house, nobody needed anything. Like everybody was so happy, And then one day, this king Rukmangada, he was going in somewhere, and then he met this rishi who knows past, present, and future. When you meet a saint, you always want to know about the future or the past. And then he said, Maharaj, please read my hand and check. Tell me about my previous life or something like that, or my future, something like that, right? So people come to saints for that. So in the same way, Rukmangada, the king, he came to Valkila Rishi and he told, Maharaj, please tell me which kind of punya karma, pious deeds I did in my previous life that because of that now I became king. Shastra explains, if you have pious deeds, you can get a son. And if you have good fortune, you can get a good wife. And if you did austerities, you can be king. So punya putra bhagya bhajya tape raja. This is one shloka. So Maharaj, please tell me what punya karma I did in my previous life, pious deeds, that as a fruit now I became the king. And yeah, I'm the fruit, I am the king. I'm the king, and not only that, all the subjects are under my guidance, they are happy, like so good. Hearing this, Valkila Rishi, he told, sit down. He was a king, Rishi who knew past, present, and future. Trikalagya Rishi, he knew everything. And then he was meditating, and then he said, hey Rukmangada, you didn't do any pious deeds in previous life. You were completely foolish before. You were foolish, yes. You were so bad. Your behavior very bad. You attached to a prostitute, actually. You didn't do any pious deeds, nothing. You were attached to a prostitute. You were drinking alcohol. You did so many bad things in your previous life. So many bad things. Hearing this, Rukmangada, the king, he was like, what? So how come that I become the king this life? Then Bhakti said, look, king, listen to me. You know, one day, there was the prostitute, your partner, she had fever, very high fever. And because of this prostitute, on the day of Ekadashi, she gave up her body. Bolo Brindavana Bihari Lal Ki Jai. And then you had so much attachment to her, so you were thinking about her so much. And on the next Ekadashi, you also didn't drink or eat anything, and you also gave up your body on the day of the next Ekadashi. Look, he was following Nirjala and gave up his body. So unknowingly, both of them followed Nirjala Ekadashi. So now it's coming Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi is coming. The next Ekadashi is Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. Look, unknowingly, so they followed Ekadashi, and as a fruit of that, this prostitute now is your wife. She was born as your wife, and you became the king. Hearing this, the king Rukmangada became very impressed, amazed, unknowingly. Look, I followed Ekadashi, and as a fruit of that, I became the king with so much wealth. I had so much opulence. I got so many things because of the Ekadashi. So the king developed so much faith in Ekadashi. And then he came back to his kingdom, and then he made an announcement. He said, oh, in my kingdom, everyone who is in my kingdom, everyone must follow Ekadashi. Everyone must do that. Those who don't follow Ekadashi, they will be kicked out from the kingdom by me. And if you are caught not following the Ekadashi, if you eat some rice by mistake, or like if you didn't give attention, and if you'll be given death sentence in the kingdom if you're caught eating rice or any grain on the day of Ekadashi. So he announced this everywhere in his kingdom. Everyone must follow Ekadashi. So getting this order by the king, all the subjects started following Ekadashi. And the day before Ekadashi, remember, is Dashami Titi. In the day of Dashami, the people of the king, they were going from village to village, playing the instruments. Oh, it's order of the king. Tomorrow it will be Ekadashi. Those who don't follow Ekadashi, they will be kicked out from the kingdom. Or if they will be caught, they'll be given death penalty. Everyone was afraid, and by fear or by faith, anyhow, everyone followed Ekadashi. So then the year passed, like a time passed, and then he went to the forest to hunt. Then he started running behind a deer, and then the deer disappeared in the forest. And then the king was in the forest running here and there. And then finally he went in the deep jungle. When he went to the deep jungle, he saw there was in one place a beautiful girl, 16-year-old girl. She was so beautiful. She had long eyes and elongated eyes and very long hair until her knees, under the knees. Shasta explains, she was so pretty. She was so beautiful, what can I say? The effulgence of her body was illuminating the four directions. Seeing her, the king became so mesmerized, and he asked her, "Who are you? Why are you crying here? What happened?" And the girl said, "Look, my mother and father, they have kicked me out from our house. They've kicked me out. Why? Oh, I have some graha dosh, some mangali dosh, like some problem in my birth chart. Mangali. So the person who will marry me, they will die. That's why. Any person who will marry me will die. So I cannot get married, what to do? So that's why my parents said, okay, you die. That's why I came to the jungle to kill myself. Rukmangada the king said, I am the king. You can marry to me. I'll not die anything. You can marry me. So the king Rukmangada married that young lady in the woods, in the forest, as a Gandharva way. Just exchanged garlands and they married. Took some flowers from the forest and did some garland and exchanged the garlands. So they got married. And then this beautiful girl and the king, they both came to the kingdom. And at that moment, the older wife of Rukmangada, even the son Dharmangada, they welcomed them. Because now this new queen came, right? So seeing her, they did a beautiful party of celebration of welcoming them. Then the king, Rukmangada, he was glorifying so much. She was very beautiful, remember? She was young. She was not so old. How old is she? Only 16 years old. She was so pretty, And then so in the 10th day, Dashamititi, the people of the king, they were announcing everywhere with drums, tomorrow is Ekadashi. Those who will not follow Ekadashi, or they will be kicked out from the kingdom, and they will be given death penalty. Look. So now this new queen was there, and she heard this news. What they are saying? Tomorrow is Ekadashi, and I have to follow Ekadashi. And the new queen, she said, I will not follow this Ekadashi, Fetadashi, like this crazy thing of Ekadashi. And whatever we should not eat on Ekadashi, that thing only I will eat. Oh yeah, on Ekadashi, you should not eat some things. Exactly those things I will eat. What speak of only rice? Of course, rice and dal I'll eat. And also, of course, I'll eat fish. I'll eat meat. I'll drink alcohol on the day of Ekadashi. And who should follow Ekadashi? Are those who are saints, great souls who have nothing to do, Santa Mahatma. Ekadashi is only for them. They are sitting and chanting holy names, only that. But young people should not follow Ekadashi at all. No. The old, let the old people do Ekadashi because they need to die quickly, so let them do. Not the young people. I am young. I'll not follow Ekadashi, of course not. My body will become weak if I follow Ekadashi. My body will be weak. So she said, I'll not follow Ekadashi. On the day of Ekadashi, I will do more bad things. Whatever I should not do, I will do on the day of Ekadashi. So having this news came to Maharaj, to the king Maharaj, Rukmangada. King heard this and said, no, queen. You must follow Ekadashi. If you don't follow Ekadashi, the people of the kingdom, you say, how can we follow if even the king is not following? There's how to exorcise someone from a ghost. You take mustard seeds and you chant some mantra in the mustard seed, then you throw the mustard seed in the ghost, and the ghost will be exorcised, like free from that place. But if there is a ghost inside the mustard seed, how can you use the mustard seed to make the ghost go away? So this one expression means, if Maharani, the queen herself, would not follow the Ekadashi, the subject would say, Maharaj, king, yourself, like your family, is not following Ekadashi and you want us to follow? How possible? So this new queen was there. So that's why he said, Maharani, you must follow Ekadashi. She said, I will not follow. So the king was insisting so much. Finally, he said, Maharani, queen, you have to follow. She said, I will not follow. After a long time, then the queen said, okay, I will follow Ekadashi, but there's a condition. What is your condition? Well, your son, Dharmangada, if you bring Dharmangada to the royal assembly, and you in one side, and your first wife, his mother, in the other side, both of you standing, you should take a saw, like a big knife, saw, and laughing or smiling, you should cut with the saw, slowly, the head of your son in the middle. If you can do that, then I will follow Ekadashi. Hearing this, Dharmangad, the son, said, Father, Pitaji, you must follow the dharma. You must protect the dharma, my father. You are established in the dharma. So you created the rules. You have to follow these rules, hey, father. Everyone must follow Ekadashi. Even if my head is cut in the middle and I die, I don't mind. Ekadashi must be followed by everyone. Even the wife, the first wife, the mother of Dharmangad, she also told the king. She said, Hey king, oh my husband, Patidev, I give you my word, I will be able to do that. And you take the also saw in the other side and let's cut off the head of our son to protect Ekadashi. Is there any person like this in this world? Like them? So she was about to kill her own older child, the older son, Dharmangad. He was the embodiment of Dharma religion. So the king in one side and the queen in the other side. So they were about to do this. So they brought the saw. Seeing this scene, actually, even all demigods, they came just to see this moment. Because this was not a normal thing. Even Brahma and great demigods directly, they also came just to see this. Brahmaji, Shivaji, all the demigods, all they came. So 1, 2, 3, when they were about to cut, Soli was about to cut. And then in this moment, Swayambhagavan Vishnu appeared. Vishnu appeared and then this new queen from far, she did pranam. The new wife, she said, Oh king, I actually am not a normal person. I am directly Maya Devi. I'm Maya Devi, you know. I am directly Maya Devi. I came to test you. I came to test you. I want to see how much established you are in the dharma, in the religion. This shows the glory of Ekadashi. In any circumstance, under any circumstance, you should never give up Ekadashi. Saying this, Maya Devi, she disappeared. Why? Because if Bhagavan is there, Vishnu is there, when Vishnu appears, Maya Devi, she will not remain there. So in this way we see, in any situation, we should never give up Ekadashi. Some people say, oh, if I don't... Some people say, you can do only 11 Ekadashis, then you stop. Then you should stop doing Ekadashi, like give up the Ekadashi, like some even ceremony to stop doing the Ekadashi. But these people say according to their own mind, no, never. The Ekadashi, actually Shastra explains, if you do Ekadashi, only you can get pious deeds, nothing else. Ekadashi is so glorious, you should always follow Ekadashi, never give up. Actually, a person, if he's about to die, if he's not dying, he's suffering before dying. If you have followed Ekadashi in your life, you can give little bit, one part of your Ekadashi to this person. And this person will also be delivered from all the sins and give up his body. There are many examples like this. Thousands of examples are there. I will take only 5 more minutes and I will stop. Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj used to tell one story. Inside our Gauriya Mata, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he had one disciple. His name was Vaikanasa Maharaja. He was born in the royal family, and before taking shelter of Prabhupada, but Bhaktisiddhanta, he was a high-class Brahmana. Or, the Brahmanas, when people have some puja in their house, they call the Brahmanas. And he also had a big body, very big body, Vaikanasa Maharaja. He was very beautiful. He was born in a royal family. His color, he was completely like a golden complexion, his color of his body. His body was like gigantic, enormous. One day, he went to do some puja in the house of some client, one person. And then after that, he got many kinds of donations. He got as a gifts from the service. So he put put all the load in his car and to come back to his house. On the way, it started raining so much, a lot, and then also it was like 10 p.m. It became dark and everything. So he was thinking what to do, and then he asked someone from the village, "Look, now it's late. It's dark. The road is not so good. Is there any dharmashala or any place here that I can just spend the night for resting? Or in the morning I'll continue my way?" The person from village told, "Look, outside the village here, there is a house, which is like without it's like free, abandoned for many years. You can spend the night there." And then what he did, he stayed the night there in the evening time, during night time. It was like already 11 or midnight, and then he put all his loads, he kept in the car, and he just went there to sleep in the house. When it was midnight, 1 a.m., suddenly 1 a.m., immediately 1 a.m., all the doors and windows, the window, the janelas, the doors of the windows of the house, they were like clapping, clack, 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 clack. What? When the ghost is coming, they indicate that they come. They do this. They make noise with the doors and windows. Shastra explains, if a house is more than 6 months abandoned or alone without anyone living, all the ghosts and Brahma Rakshas also, they start to, firstly they take possession of the house. So when he heard the sound of clapping of the windows, he thought certainly there is a ghost or witch here. So he took one iron rod, and he took the iron rod in his hand and he said, "Hey, who is there? Come in front of me." Shastra explains that if you carry some iron with you, also ghosts and witches won't come. That's why I've seen in villages, they put on the waist of small kids a small thing made of, like a chain made of iron on the belly of kids. This is true. Even if you have a piece of iron with you, no ghost, any bad entity will come near you. This is true. So he took the iron rod on his hand and he told, who is there? Come in front of me! Like this. And then he said, "I am a Brahma Rakshas. I am a ghost Brahma Rakshas. I am going to eat you alive. Ha 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 ha." Yeah, even you can get goosebumps, like horripilation out of it. Yeah, amazing. But he was not afraid. Come in front of me. And then Brahma Rakshas said, "You have the iron rod in your hand, and you take out and drop this iron rod, and I'll teach you a lesson. I will show you who I am." But then Maharaj said, "You tell me, how did you become a Brahma Rakshas, this kind of ghosts?" And then he said, "In my life, I did so many sinful activities, like you heard, the story of Gokarna and Dundukari. Even I was worse than Dundukari. I was more sinner than Dundukari. I did so many bad things. Even I stole the money of the saints. He himself told, it's written this. I've stolen the money of the saints, and I used it in my own sense enjoyment, and I drank alcohol. I did so many bad things I did. As a fruit of that, I now became a Brahma Rakshas." This kind of ghost. Maharaj told, "Okay, tell me, how can you be free from this body of Brahma Rakshas?" And then the ghost himself came. "Hey king, sorry, not king, no, hey, oh you Brahmana, if you in your life have done even one nirjala vrat, without any drop of water, just give me one part of this nirjala vrat to me, one part of the nirjala vrat, understand? Just give me one small part of the nirjala vrat, give to me, and I'll give up this body of the Brahma Rakshas." Then Vaikanasa Maharaja, in his mind, he concentrated, chanted some mantra, and said, "Go, I have done many Nirjala Ekadashis in my life, I give you the fruit of one I offer to you. Saying this, he took in his hand some like dust or something, and then he dropped like a threw on the ghost. Immediately the ghost manifested a divine body, and then he went to the Nitya Vaikunta Dham, eternal abode of lords. Bola Vrindavana Bihari La Alki. Jai. That's why Ekadashi, glories of the Ekadashi are so much. I've seen so much in my life. In Holland, there was a person who was about to die. He told me, somebody told me, oh, he's not dying, but he's about to die. Then I told him, I took some tulasi to him and water of the Ganges, and I said, I give you one fruit of Ekadashi. I told the person. When I came out of the room, immediately he gave up his body. Immediately. I just came out of the room and he died. You can clap. You can clap, please clap for this, because you can see this. You can get all the fruits just if you follow Ekadashi, wealth, everything, even liberation, even higher than liberation, bhakti you can get by following Ekadashi. That's why in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the glory of the Ekadashi in the story of Ambarisha and Durvasa Rishi. And one thing I just want to tell you, look, yes, even if you follow Nirjala or not Nirjala in the Ekadashi, but you have to give attention in the time to break the Ekadashi next day. Many people, they follow Ekadashi, this is true. They stay awake even whole night, but they don't give attention to the time of breaking the Ekadashi in the next day. That's why, the next day of Ekadashi, you must follow parana, how to break the vow, right, in the proper time. After the sunset arise, until such time, to such and such time, you must break your vow. You have to do parana. Tomorrow, what time is the parana? Before 10 a.m. Tomorrow, from sunrise until, in India, until 10 a.m., certainly you should do parana. Serve Guru Vaishnavas, serve the cows, Brahmanas. How to do parana? Shastra explains. First, you should worship Vishnu Archan. After doing Archan of Lord Vishnu, then you serve the cows. Give a roti, a chapati to a cow. You should serve the cow. You should serve the Brahmanas. All the rules are there. Otherwise, you just ate yourself. No. Before, you have to serve cows, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. Then you take the remnants of the Vaishnavas, and in this way you break your vow. So you have to give some donation to the saints, Maharaj is saying. Like the story of Durvasa and Ambarisha. So, like when Durvasa came, Ambarisha thought, oh, so nice, I'll be able to serve the saints and then I'll break my vow. So you can give any donation to the saints. For example, some rice, some dal, some ghee. The Vrajavas, they do like this until nowadays. They always give donation on the day of Ekadashi. Like some rice, dal, some ghee, some any, the good food stuff. How to break the vow. You have to follow all the rules and follow Ekadashi. Today is a very beautiful day. The day of Ekadashi. You should not eat. And also should not feed anyone on the day of Ekadashi. But if you want to take fruits, you offer fruits to Vaishnavas and to the deity, and then you can eat the fruit after. These are the rules. Maharaj will continue telling. Now it's already 9:10. Jai Ekadasi, Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Ekadasi Mahatit. So if you do one round of Ekadashi, one round of Japamala Ekadashi, you get the result of 100 rounds. Maharaj is showing, look, I'm doing the Ekadashi, take Japamala and then take Mahaprasad. Today the Mahaprasad, one devotee arranged, his name is Surendra Prabhuji. Today he arranged the Prasadam. Very beautiful Prasada Lassi, you get shake, sabji, delicious sabji, pakoda. Surendra Prabhu has arranged delicious prasad today. Please clap for him. Clap, they are clapping. Surendra Prabhuji, Prabhuji, come here. Prabhuji, come here. Come here. Come here, Prabhuji. Naveen Prabhu also, his father-in-law, Pradeep ji. Come also here, please. I think I'll come back to the beginning, just first 5 minutes where Gurudev spoke. Let's see what he spoke in the first 5 minutes, because I started doing this live interpretation late. So let's just see what he spoke in the first 5 minutes. Just the first 5 minutes. I've come back to the beginning. Gurudev is just doing Mangalacharan and obeisances. Okay, so now we are here together at the feet of Gurudeva directly, and we are here gathered to hear the beautiful pastimes of Bhagavan. Today is the third day of the Bhagavad Katha. Today, tomorrow is the fourth day of the Bhagavad Katha. Tomorrow is the birthday of Krishna. We'll hear about the birth of Krishna. Maharaj has very beautifully, in a very sweet form, Maharaj has described so beautiful pastimes of Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see so beautiful kathas in the Bhagavatam. Srila Shukadeva Goswami Pad told so many kathas to Parikshit Maharaj for 7 days. For 7 days and 7 nights, without stop. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Shukadeva Goswami Pad, until when he spoke katha to Parikshit Maharaj, for how much time? For 7 days and 7 nights, completely. He didn't even stop, not even stood up, nothing. All the kathas, he was just speaking. Parikshit Maharaj was sitting and Shukadeva was speaking. So Shastra explains, everything depends on who is listening and who is speaking. So the speaker should be very high and the listener also very high, like they should be in the same level, like very high class. But us, we're here 2-3 hours of Harikatha sitting down, and we're already changing position all the time, like because we're uncomfortable of sitting down, and we are all the time looking at our watches. Maharaj, please finish the katha, it's time to go. It's been already 3 hours. And also all the time in the middle of katha there's also beautiful kirtan. You know the kirtaniya who is here? Our Darilal Ji, very special kirtaniya. He sings so beautifully, all the kirtan of Vraj. What can I tell you about his glory? He's the main of Braj Academy. Main kirtaniya of Braj Academy. In the time of Gurudeva I saw. In the time of Janmashtami, during the night, whole night of Ekadashi, he was doing Ekadashi. Our Darilal Ji. Gurudeva gave him Dikshanam, Damodara Prabhu Ki Jai. So I was already translating at this, so we lost only 2 minutes. We already spoke everything which was missing. Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. I'm sorry because there was not the voice of Gurudev in the back. This was some technical problem because some issues, but still. Jai Srila Gurudev, Dandavat Pranams. Forgive me any faults.